welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm really glad you're here. My name is Caitlin. I am currently participating in NaNoWriMo, and I'm hoping to finish a draft by the end of the month. So today is day 4 of NaNoWriMo. Today I wrote about 1,000 words on my lunch break and hated them all. So after I film this, I'm probably gonna go rewrite everything that I've worked on so far, start the chapter over from scratch. Yeah, it's a whole thing. But today is day 4 and I have yet to talk about what I'm actually writing. So I figured I would actually sit down and tell you guys what I am currently working on. Today's tea is a Trenta black tea with peach that I got on my lunch break at work and then didn't finish, so I brought it home. If you've seen any of my videos from last year's NaNoWriMo, or well, technically 2019's NaNoWriMo, because let's be real, everybody had a tough time last year. In 2019, I wrote a retelling of a fairy tale. It was a retelling of the 6 swans, and I called it Project Lucy, and I have not touched it since NaNoWriMo of 2019. I was really invested in it at the time, but I just wasn't feeling it afterwards. And looking back, I'm really, really glad I wrote it because at that point I had not written in literally years. I used to write a lot of fan fiction back in the day, and then around 2013 I just stopped. I wrote and published some things here and there, really, really scattered across the years, but I really did not do any writing, even though it was something that I used to love and I used to do all the time. What changed is that in 2019, I discovered authortube. I started following Kate Kavanaugh, Natalia Lee, Becca C. Smith, a whole bunch of people, and it really reminded me how much I loved writing. And so the fall of 2019, I was like, do you know what? Screw it. Not only am I gonna do NaNoWriMo for the first time in a really long time, but I'm going to vlog it. So I did. I fully committed. I wrote an entire draft. It was literally 50,005 words. And then I stopped. I hadn't even finished the draft. The first draft was nowhere near done. And I have not looked at it since the last day of NaNoWriMo 2019. Fast forward to this year, 2021, and I'm sitting down to write. And a lot of things have changed. The biggest thing is I got back into fan fiction writing. It is a totally different fandom for me, and it happened completely by accident. I'm sure a lot of y'all experienced this, but you know, during quarantine, I was furloughed from my job for 4 months. I work at Walt Disney World in attractions, and the parks weren't open, so I sat at home for 4 months doing nothing. And I ended up binge watching a lot of Netflix, and that turned into binge watching Criminal Minds for the second time, and that turned into writing. And I ended up really, really loving what I was working on. I ended up connecting with a lot of really amazing people through Tumblr and through my writing when I posted it. And I wrote a couple of different things. I'm still working on them. Let me add that as well. I've taken kind of some breaks a lot in this current year since getting back into my job turned out to be a lot more complicated than I thought it was going to be. That's a whole different story. Ask questions if you want to know what it's like working in a theme park during a pandemic. It's a lot. I ended up working on multiple projects for the Criminal Minds fandom, which that's a sentence I never thought I would say, but here we are. But I had one project that kind of took on a life of its own. And if you're here from Tumblr, again, I am very glad you're here because hopefully you're here because you read my major fic, which is called Patron Saint of Lost Causes, and it is a boarding school alternate universe. It took on a life of its own. Literally, I started writing it in, was it March or April? It was April of 2020. And as of this writing, I am on chapter 23, and it's over 100,000 words, not including all the extra little bits and blurbs I've written here and there for it. And also not counting all the words I've written for my other fics. Oh God, I should count up how much fan fiction I've written since 2020, because oh Lord, that's gonna be a lot. Writing Patron Saint of Lost Causes has been a lot of fun for me, and it's really made me realize how much I still really want to be a published author. And granted, you cannot be a published fanfiction author. You just can't. However, fanfiction has opened the doors for a lot of published authors. Everyone knows 50 Shades of Grey. There was a book that was based on Harry Styles fanfiction that was turned into a movie. And then there's a lot of people in the Raylo fandom, which I'm kind of adjacent to it. One of my really, really, really good friends is a Raylo author, and so I kind of follow her Twitter and see all that. And I know Love Hypothesis began as a Raylo fanfiction. I need to read that. Oh, but my to-be-read list is really long because I will go 6 months without touching a book, read 10 books in a week, and then not read again for another 6 months. It's a whole thing. But all this to say that my mindset has shifted a lot over the past year and a half and how I wanted to approach writing. And one thing that I've really been thinking about is, can I take this boarding school AU, combine it with a lot of the stuff that I love to read about and that I'm passionate about, and a lot of ideas that I've had percolating on the back burner for forever. Can I combine that into a book and write it? And cut to my Nano project for 2021, which is why y'all are here in the first place. I am working on a found family, boarding school, young adult horror that has a little bit of fantasy in it. I'm a mess. There is not a title yet. I'm referring to it as Project Graveyard number 1. That's because I'm an idiot and I'm jumping right into a 5-book series. I do have 5 books planned in total. It's going to go through my characters' junior and senior years of high school at this boarding school, including their summer. The school is called, oh, should I give this away? I'm going to give it away because it's pretty much the title of the school and patron saint. So it is called St. Thaddeus of the Woods. It is a boarding school out in the middle of rural Tennessee. I'm actually from Tennessee, so a lot of this is based on my memories growing up. I also grew up in Kentucky when I was younger, so it's very based in a small town in Kentucky, Tennessee situation. My main character is named Adelaide, which, God, it took me forever to pick out a name for her. I went through at least 5 or 6 different names before I settled on Adelaide, so let's hope I don't change it. But her name is Adelaide. She is a junior in high school. She has lived in this small town near the school her whole life. She is there on a scholarship. She does live on campus. And there's a lot of mysteries entangled around the school and the town, and in particular, the family that basically owns the boarding school. They are one of the founding families of the town, and they've been there for hundreds of years, and there's a lot of shady stuff that's been going on. There's also the woods, the Harp-style woods that the students are not permitted to go into under any circumstances. So, of course, everybody wants to go to the scary woods and stuff. There's rumors of a beast. There's rumors of the ghost of a little girl who died on the campus in the 1930s. There's potentially magic. I haven't decided if I wanted to keep the magic or not. I don't really have a beta reader. I have an alpha reader because my best friend Brenna is the one who has been kind of reading all of my stuff as I go. She reads all the really rough word vomit drafts. She's helped me kind of brainstorm a lot of this. Where was I going with this? Oh, the magic. That's where I am. My brain is fried at work. If you notice, my hands have a lot of blue, and it's mostly on this hand. I've been painting all day, so my brain just kind of like, it's a long day at work. I am potentially using some magic in this. I'm not sure if I want to keep it. That's what the 0 draft is for, is I'm going to see if I want to keep this magic angle or not. But for sure, there's going to be a lot of horror. Some of it is actually influenced by my love of Halloween Horror Nights. Is it weird that that's my main inspiration? A seasonal theme park event? In any case, Adelaide, my main character, is a junior at the school. She has been there since she was in 6th grade. The school begins in 6th grade and runs till 12th. She is preparing to graduate, and her goal is to leave this tiny town and never come back. She would really rather not ever come back to her town of Audens Ridge, Tennessee, ever again. And things are gonna happen. In particular, she ends up meeting one of the Wilders, and the Wilders are the family that they have owned the school. They have lived in Audens Ridge since it was founded, but there is a newcomer. He's never met that side of his family before. He has been sent to Audens Ridge and to the school against his will, and yeah, unlikely friendships. I do have a couple of other characters, which if you've read Patron Saint, I am drawing a lot from my little ragtag bunch for patron saint, all of my Lincoln House kids. But in here, it is kind of flipped on its end a little bit. I've combined characters, have developed a lot of new stuff for them, and I have 5 books that are kind of tenuously planned in the back of my brain. Ultimately, my goal for NaNoWriMo is to complete the draft. Is that gonna happen? Who knows? I thought this month it wouldn't be as hectic as it's turning out to be. If you watched my 2019 NaNoWriMo vlogs, you saw that I was doing a lot. I was doing an internship. I was in a production of Evil Dead the musical. I had tons of stuff happening. And this year I was like, yeah, I'm not really doing theater right now since they're still all closed. And I'm just working and, you know, then I'll come home and write. And like, no, because now I'm wedding planning and I'm going to tour venues on Monday and things are a lot more hectic than I planned. So we'll see. I may end up finishing the draft at the end of the month. I might not, but I have given myself deadlines and I am really hoping that not only do I finish this draft, this is a book that I would love to see in publication, whether it is traditionally published or is self-published. But that is my end game. That is my ultimate goal for this book, for this 5-book series. I want to see it in print somehow. And this is the first time that I have really looked at my writing and said, this is something that I would want to pick up in a bookstore and read. Because I'm going to be honest, my 2019 project, Project Lucy, which was also going to be the first book in I think a 7-book series, because like I said, idiot, I wouldn't want to read it. And I think that's what I had to finally admit to myself was I was writing and I was putting words on a page, but I was thinking too much about like, oh my God, can I turn this into a 7-book series? Am I gonna finish this? Am I gonna use this to set up my career for the next 20 years? And there was no fun in it. I didn't enjoy myself writing it. There were moments that I was like, yeah, this is going really well. I'm having a good time. But overall, and I think the reason why I never touched it again is I wasn't writing it for the right reasons and I wasn't enjoying it. So far I've written and completed 2 chapters of Project Graveyard #1 and I'm really enjoying it. It's really interesting to kind of jump into this world that is similar but very, very different to what I've been writing over the past year. It is fascinating to take these characters that I already loved and find out how to change them and make them new and special and unique and different for people who might have read Patron Saint, which again, if you hear from Tumblr, I love you so much. You're my little baby angels and I appreciate you with my whole heart. So to wrap everything up, for NaNoWriMo 2021, what year is it? I am writing Project Graveyard #1. It is a spooky found family boarding school young adult horror with perhaps a little bit of fantasy mixed in. I am hoping to finish the draft by the end of the month, and I hope to see this book in print at some point. If you stuck it all the way out to the end of this video, thank you so, so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. I am a very new author tuber. I consider myself at this point a brand new author tuber because, I mean, I hadn't vlogged anything in years. Which along these lines, I am hoping that after NaNoWriMo, I do continue with authortube because I've really enjoyed myself. I mean, last time though, any hopes of vlogging were dashed by, you know, a global pandemic. What can you do? Thank you so, so much for watching. I'm gonna go right now. Actually, this is when I will post a clip of Gremlin Caitlin from later this evening after I filmed this video. So hopefully I've got a good update. Hello, Gremlin Caitlin here to tell you that, yes, my mascara is everywhere again. But also, I hopped on the Jesse Elliott stream tonight. I ended up writing a lot during those live streams. It was Jesse Elliott and Mandy Lynn. They hosted it, and I ended up writing 3,857 words today, which was my total word count up to, what does it say? 8,978 words total. I am doing really well. Let's hope this continues, but very pleased, very proud of myself. But it's 11:30 and I'm gonna go to bed, so please enjoy the rest of this video. Please tell me that I have finished chapter 3, because that's really what I'm hoping for tonight, but who knows, I might just fall asleep with this tea still not finished. That could happen too. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'm really glad you're here. Please like and subscribe. Stick around if you would like. I have a bunch of links in my down bar, including the link to Patron Saint of Lost Causes. If you're interested in reading it, you don't have to know anything about Criminal Minds to read it. Trust me, because literally it's just the cast as teenagers, plus Spencer, who's 10. I will be back tomorrow with another video and hopefully a great update about how writing is going. But tell me all about your project down below. I really love to hear it. I'd love to follow some new author tubers as well. So, see y'all later. When am I gonna come up with a cool sign-off? Probably never, let's be quite honest. I'll probably blurt out something randomly and be like, ha, that's it. That'll be my cool sign-off.